This is the Dirty Lou Podcast. This week's guest, Ben Roberts. Does your voice sound like you thought it would sound? I mean, you have these headphones on, and
No, not at all. Like,
do you sound more badass?
nearly, yeah. I mean, like, I could be on one of those call-in things and talk to the ladies.
Or people call in and talk to you, and you have to try and entertain the ladies?
Right.
I don't think those exist anymore.
No, they don't. I mean,
No.
you got OnlyFans, and I've thought about getting into that, but
You could probably scrounge together some fans.
yeah, scrounging is a good term for it,
Yeah,
I think. Just because I'm kind of furry, and I've been confused for a Yeti once or twice.
I'm sure if I know the internet, there's plenty of people who are into Yetis.
Yeah, squash.
Tune in next week, actually. We're going to be interviewing a woman who released a book on Yeti sightings in Maine.
I think she called the authorities on me because I was mowing my lawn this one time and with my shirt off, of course. And the next thing you know, I was lying in this room with bright lights and I could hear this guy saying, "I told you we didn't need to stick anything up his ass." But, then they let me go.
Nice.
It was like Men in Black shit.
Don't worry, I'll make sure to ask her about that.
Yeah.
You remember, since we're on the topic of this weird stuff, we might as well mention it, because I plan on bringing it up to this woman. The Turner Triangle.
The Turner Triangle. Yep, I'm familiar with that. There's actually a portion of the Turner Triangle that people don't realize, and really, it's called Guggen's Island.
Okay.
It's home where you can get the Guggen, which is a local terminology of if you're alone on your lunch break, stopping in at Twin Bridge Market and getting an Italian, and you sitting there spinning up a fresh one.
Okay.
You might get an offer on your door for a Guggen from a gentleman who came from a tent.
High strangeness it is.
Yeah, Guggens.
So I know what to be afraid of if I ever hear a note or see a note on my door that's offering a Guggen. Interesting. I'm sure you got a million stories of the town that you grew up in. Like, just to clarify, where did you grow up?
Well, actually, first seventh grades of school was in Lewiston.
So you are based out of Lewiston.
I was a Blue Devil.
All right.
I had Mr. Cousins in 7th grade.
Oh, yeah.
Mr. Akerley, yep.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Akerley.
He was a soccer coach.
Yeah, he was always very svelte, quick.
He had a nice mustache.
Yep. Oh, he lost the mustache when I had him.
Yeah.
I guess I didn't remember that you actually went to school in Lewiston. So you're
for a short time.
You're more based out of Lewiston than we
Oh
give
yeah,
you credit for.
Like I can remember going fishing down on the Androscoggin River, up to my waist in the water, and I didn't grow any extra inches anywheres.
No.
But
just totally bleached white from where the
Right.
water touched you down.
yeah, I had
You get
no
your
hair on
color
my
back
legs for that
after all.
reason. People say, "Did you shave?" And I was like, "No, I just went fishing in the Androscoggin when I was a teenager."
If you're from this area, you totally understand.
Yeah, and it was next to the waste facility right there off of Lincoln Street. So
You lived in Little Canada?
I was
Oh,
actually
that's where you were swimming.
out swimming, yeah. But I was on Merton Boulevard, which was a little cul-de-sac right behind Bradley's.
Wow, you're really pulling out some old Lewiston knowledge here.
Oh yeah, Bradley's Superstore and the Ames's and
The Promenade Mall, right?
yeah.
That's what it was called. I do remember Bradley's. I believe I went to my first movie there,
Me too. What was your first one?
Beauty and the Beast.
Mine was Slapshot.
I wish I saw Slapshot instead. I mean, I like Beauty and the Beast, but that's way cooler.
Yep. So Lewiston way back.
So you have roots here.
Oh yeah, deep roots.
All right.
Like my
Well, that's
parents,
good.
did drugs in the 80s down the road, and they consummated. What is that? Yeah, they made me
Consummated.
consummated in a 1-bedroom apartment.
Right down here in downtown Lewiston.
Yeah,
Wow. So your roots run just about as deep as they can run here.
yeah,
All right. That was back in the 80s.
yeah. '80s were a crazy time. I'm as old as MTV, so
That's right. Yeah, it's too bad, MTV doesn't really play music anymore. Here you are, being on shows, talking into radio microphones and whatnot, and MTV doesn't even play music anymore.
bullshit.
That's wild. I think I probably knew that you did grow up here in Lewiston, but where are you based out of now?
Out of the exciting town of North Leeds.
North Leeds. I'm going to be honest with you. I sometimes get Leeds, Livermore Falls, J. Rumford. I get all those areas kind of like, it's all kind of one big blurry zone for me sometimes.
I get that, and that's another thing about living in the country is people, they assume that if you're in the country that you don't have a full set of teeth.
It's fair.
And that's not true because they pass grandma's teeth down generation to generation,
Nice.
like her cookie and meth recipes.
Oh, perfect. Yes. Family recipes
Yep,
and family heirlooms.
exactly.
So you're based out of, you said, North Leeds.
North Leeds.
Okay, and you've been there for a while now. But in case people didn't know, Ben does do comedy work. You've been doing it for, I really find it hard to believe myself, but it's been 9 years for you grinding away in central and southern Maine.
And actually, I've been lucky enough to perform down at Otto's Shrunken Head in New York City on an open mic down there. And then also I got to perform at the Caravan Comedy Club in Louisville, Kentucky as well.
I remember the Louisville, Kentucky one. How did that compare to, like, when you talk about playing in a huge city like Louisville, I can only guess, I'm sure more than 100,000 people.
The city, yeah.
And then, you're talking about New York City. So you are playing in large cities to a city audience. And here you are coming from gigs in Maine, where our largest city maybe has 100,000 people, in Portland, something like that.
Portland, Southport, and Westbrook, yeah.
How'd that go?
Well, like I said, the Otto Shrunken Head show is just an open mic, so it was a bunch of comics just riffing. But Jimmy Peoples runs a good show down there, and it was cool. It was in broad daylight, which is crazy because, as we know, New York's a city that doesn't sleep. So you'd think comedy shows are just going to be at night, when in actuality they're going on all day long.
No kidding. It's like when they filmed The Tonight Show. I always wondered, I'm like, are they filming at night?
Yeah, green screens, man.
Yeah. Oh, I'm aware of like the magic of movies and production now. It was a pretty big disappointment for me as I got older.
Yeah.
That is awesome, man. But let me ask you this. How did your comedic material translate to people from Louisville and people from New York?
Well, when you've done comedy enough to know that you got to pay attention to your audience, and occasionally, even if you think you know your audience, you can still screw up. But I just didn't touch on subjects that were exactly any obvious than it was. Like, I stuck out like a boner in sweatpants. So I'm like, yeah, I'm the guy from the country. So the guys in New York City are like, hey, you grow weed, don't you? And I'm like, I might know somebody.
Right.
And then, down in Louisville, it was pretty cool because I was actually down there for a conference for my employer. And I reached out to a lady that ran the open mic down there. And it was a booked open mic, and they gave me 10 minutes. And I brought a bunch of people from the conference with me. So, when you can bring an audience of people that are going to relate to your comedy and relate to your material, the rest of the audience can get it as well, even if they don't relate.
Now, you don't always have the luxury of having a crew with you when you play a show.
No. That's the Portland audience.
I see. And historically, how have you fared down south in the Portland area when it comes to shows?
I've gotten
Rough crowd?
I've gotten some crickets, but when I've performed in nothing but a cowboy hat, that's when I've gotten my best results in Portland. Yeah, I was
I can imagine, basically what you just said, you're in a cowboy hat, and that's the extent of it.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, you must have gotten a rise out of them.
But yeah, no, I mean, I even was able to let go of my hat, and things stayed up. So I didn't break any rules or laws. They might have saw some of my butt, but
Yep.
you know.
Yep. Well, I mean, you've seen one butt. You've seen them all.
Really, 2 cheeks. We all got them.
Yep. Some are hairier than others.
That's what I hear. Starfishes are a little different. But
Right. Yeah. I mean, you don't inspect too closely
No.
usually. So 9 years you've been grinding away at this. You've played nationally, all over the place locally. What was the catalyst for it all? I mean, come on, because getting out and doing comedy and putting yourself out there, and lots of people run their mouths and they say, I could have done this, I could have done that, I could have been a comedian, I could have been a great singer. But a lot of people really never had the guts to do it. What brought you to the point where you're like, I'm doing this?
well, actually, I blame it on my ex-wife. When we were married, and I brought up the idea of doing stand-up comedy, her reply was, "If you do stand-up comedy, I'm going to become a stripper." And
All right.
and I was in love,
Yep.
so I didn't have a stripper for a wife. However, we got divorced, and I was working at a bar up in Livermore at the Maple Lane Tavern, and my customers are like, "Dude, you're funny. We want to see some comedy shows up here." So I put one together, and I got to open for some great comics. Rob Steen, he does a lot of shows in the New Hampshire area, and then Tammy Pooler was also on it, and she does.
I've seen her
She does
name.
podcasts with Thomas Hayes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You really kind of simplified the whole deal. You're like, I put it together.
Yeah.
Like, it was your first time. I mean, did you wing it?
Well, I felt confident talking to the people I was told to talk to, and just being honest with people. I want to put on a show. I want to bring people together, and I'd like you guys to come here, and I'd also like to give it a shot. And they made that fair compromise. I paid them well, and they let me have my shot, and it was a good time. First show was actually first real show was a sold out show of 75 people. So
I mean, I've worked on local shows in my life in different capacities. A crowd of 75 is respectable.
yeah,
Very. I would say getting more than just your friends to show up. Anybody outside your circle of friends, when you organize something like that, is, it's respectable.
it was a good time. And then I was hooked.
Huh. And that was just the beginning, and it's kind of snowballed since.
Yeah, I got involved with a great lady, and she was my biggest fan, and she encouraged me to keep going with it because really when I told her I was a teller at a credit union, her vagina dried right up.
It dried up.
But then when I said I was a comic and a part-time bartender,
It rehydrated itself.
yeah, got a little moist.
A little more than just normal hydration.
Yeah.
Fair enough. That's incentive. Like the wife thing, obviously. And your ex-wife, I remember her.
Yeah,
Mega
yeah, no.
sweetheart. Marshall's mom?
Marshall's mom.
Yeah, that's what I
and she's a great lady. We've been co-parenting for over 10 years. And but she's the reason why I didn't get into it sooner, but she's supportive now, and she understands I'm not saying anything to embarrass or hurt anybody. And
Well, okay, so that kind of brings me to the next point here. Your inspiration for your humor. I mean, a lot of people crack jokes at their friends and loved ones' expense.
yeah, and I have some stuff about my children. My son, he likes to ask crazy questions, and one of my favorite questions that he ever asked me was, "Dad, when you were born, did you have a beard?" I sure did, buddy. Stove your grandma up awful bad on the way out.
Yeah, right. She had to rehydrate herself, actually.
Yeah, and I've said that joke in front of her at least a dozen times in public.
nice.
So she's a good lady.
So your mom has a sense of humor. She's supportive. Your family's there, and they're
Actually, I got a stepbrother who also performs, and he's performed all over the world.
really.
Yep.
Oh, what's his name?
Michael St. Hilaire. He's friends with your older brother, and probably Facebook friends, but went to school same time.
Yeah. Now, I remember meeting your other brother, right? You have a brother,
Yeah.
and then you have a stepbrother.
I have a combination of brothers, stepbrothers, and even a hybrid brother.
Yeah. So in general, your family's really supportive of what you do, because we all know that I think being a comedian, you can be put out there to say and do controversial things. So you have people in your corner. Have you ever actually like offended anybody or gotten hot water for something you've said at the cost of comedy or putting on a show?
Not to my knowledge. I think I'm lucky in that way because people feel that I'm genuine and I'm not coming from, like hateful areas, which I'm not. I mean, it's all about having fun and really I love everybody. So why would I want to say anything that's going to hurt anybody?
Yeah.
I don't want to be put on a list because I said something racist or I said something sexist. And actually my late wife, she kept me in check on a lot of stuff that she definitely enlightened me on some of my ignorance.
Yeah.
So she wouldn't for example, she wouldn't let me say a joke that was just dumb. She'd be honest with me. And
it's good to have somebody who can also, make you a little bit aware of whether you're actually funny or not, and somebody you can trust.
And that's a great thing to have in my back pocket. Now it's my children. Like I enjoy embarrassing them.
You have a teenage son and a teenage daughter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. And I've, I haven't gotten clearance yet on, them recording themselves with me or anything, but,
it might be a family business one day.
He might have done some comedy at a talent show at school one year. I don't know.
Fair enough.
He was a leprechaun, so.
We'll see if we can get some footage of that. We'll put it on the podcast. We'll let everybody see and know.
Yeah, embarrass my children even more.
Yeah. Now, I'll be doing it.
I mean,
with my
Father's
kids.
Day. Why not?
Right. Yeah. It's
How
true.
was your Father's Day?
I find my Father's Days to be my family doing what I ask them to. They leave me alone. We go out and we had our first lobster meal of the summer. I was basically allowed to do what I like, so I kind of puttered around. I mowed the lawn on Father's Day. I got to eat a lobster, some corn on the cob, some clams. It was pretty nice.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a card from my family. I got this shirt I'm wearing, a Bull Moose shirt.
That's a sharp looking shirt.
Thanks.
Very fresh.
It was awesome, man. I'm being a dad is the best thing that ever happened to me, and to have a day where I just kind of get automatic respect no matter what rules. Not to say I'm not respected, but you know what I mean.
Day, yeah.
They lay it on Father's Day, and so it was really awesome. How was yours?
It wasn't bad. I celebrated it without them knowing it. I took them mini golfing on Saturday. My daughter was keeping score, and then upon further review, she was off on her score by 10 points. So she went from winning to losing. But I celebrated by getting a hole-in-one on the 19th hole at Tabor's. So
I was about to ask where you guys played. It was Tabor's?
Yeah, I got the free game.
Nice.
So that's a win.
So if you're given the choice of Tabor or Roy's,
I'm a Tabor's man for mini golf.
I like the view.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really killer. And the onion rings, the ice
Fresh
cream.
Oh, yeah.
Like all that stuff. We did some mini golf recently. We were in New Hampshire, but that's awesome, man. It actually sounds like a really great day, just hanging with the family and playing some mini golf.
Yeah, no, the best adventures are the simplest ones, really.
That's true.
We like, I like going up and hitting the waterfalls up in the Coos Canyon and in Smalls Falls and jumping like a stupid 39-year-old shouldn't be. Mm-hmm. But, the only thing you didn't do is hit the water. Watch out for the rocks.
I love that area. I vacation out there in the summertime too. Peru, nice. Actually, but we make our way all around.
Do you go on Worthley Pond? Or
that's where we camp.
That 4th of July fireworks is something else on the pond there.
And they have Christmas in July.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it on film from last year. It rules. If I could say one thing about people from that area, Peru, Rumford, I don't know if people know this, but they do like to party up there.
They do.
And they're good at it. And we go up there, and the people in the Rumford, Peru area are some of the nicest ever.
Yeah.
And very accommodating, and you're treated like you're somebody who was kind of born and raised in that area. I mean, I feel like I'm from Rumford.
Well, I believe it.
I'm from Lewiston.
To be honest, I mean, it is by the Androscoggin River.
Right.
Actually,
a couple places that have a lot in common. Sometimes I think that Rumford is actually more Lewiston than Lewiston.
Yeah, and, I get that. And, Leeds is, believe it or not, where Lewiston goes to dump their dead bodies.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yep.
It's true. There's not a lot out there. A lot of empty space and woods.
Yeah, marshes. Yeah.
Noted.
I mean, I'm not saying that I know where they are, but I know that they dumped one, a few years back, and nobody laid claim to it.
Is that like a dead body was found?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't. How long ago was that?
Within the past 5 years. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, we're not spared from random acts of violence and crime. I mean, Lewiston is a city.
It is a city.
We have city things going on here.
City things going on.
Are you like inspired by like Leeds when it comes to your comedy? Like, do you pull from that area and living where you live? Does that have?
Yeah, I just like to play on being from the country, and like people like to think that people from North Leeds like to fuck sheep in bog boots with Velcro gloves. I gotta tell you, it's not true. Mostly because there ain't enough sheep to go around.
I've seen a lot of horses out there.
Yeah, I got a couple horses, and actually, I got 2 beautiful horses.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the thing is I love them. They're like my fur kids and all that stuff. So I gotta take care of them. I gotta, clean them and feed them and scoop their shit. I mean, my kids shit in the kitchen all the time.
Now, your kids are the horses.
Both.
I was going to say, I could see, all 4 of them really.
Yeah, actually, my gelding, who I'm going to talk about in a second, about an experience him and I just had, he sits on my couch with me. His favorite shows are, Mr. Ed and the Kentucky Derby.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice.
Seabiscuit's a favorite of his. But no, so like I said, I got to take care of my animals, and I don't know if anybody knows the difference between like a horse when it comes to like a gelding or not. But what a gelding is he's pretty much denutted, okay? But he still has all of his equipment, and we know horse equipment to be very large. It doesn't clean itself.
So all right.
So it used to be my late wife's job, but cancer's a bitch and took her. So I get stuck cleaning her horse's dick, and it's a little weird, to be honest with you, because I've never handled that kind of equipment. I'm a white boy from Lewiston, Maine. Let's be honest.
Okay. Yeah.
So I had to figure out how to get into the mood. So I bought a bottle of good bourbon, and I brought a nice soapy bucket of water out, nice warm water, and I put some Pandora radio on my phone, some Marvin Gaye actually, and I started talking nice to him and cleaning things, and he's chilling out, giving him a good job. I'm like, hey buddy, keep it up, you're doing a great job. Like, I'm encouraging him for not like loosening it on me, and then all of a sudden, R. Kelly's Remix to Ignition comes on.
Oh, that's not the right energy.
And he started pissing on me. and now we have this weird thing where him and I can't look each other in the eye anymore.
Yeah.
Like
so it's
like,
awkward for him too.
Yeah, it's like if you've ever sword crossed with somebody in the middle. You don't make eye contact.
Yeah. And it's not something you talk about much after it happens.
No, never.
All right. Good on you for stepping up and doing that.
Yeah, somebody had to.
Well, you don't want infections getting in there.
No, it gets all chummed up in there. It's a little weird.
That's the word, chummed up. All right, now I know. I'm going to add that to my vocabulary. I work in healthcare, so I can use the term chummed up area. Definitely. Let me ask you one thing about horses real quick. Like, why do people have horses? And I know this sounds silly. You ride horses. But are you out riding your horses? Is this why you got them?
Well, I didn't get them. So we're going to go a little like I said, I had my biggest cheerleader. I was her biggest cheerleader. I was a caregiver, come to find out after it's all said and done, for 4 years. Give it up for caregivers everywhere, because you just don't know what your job is on any given day. Your job is just to be that person that person needs you to be in the moment.
Of course.
And she battled for it was total of 4 years in different varying degrees, but she had a love of horses, and she had them for over 30 years of her life, and she was a veterinary technician, but she worked at Tufts University in anesthesiology on large animals and exotic animals. So, So she's a cool chick, and and so she had the horses. And when you're in a relationship with somebody, you accept their past and their life as it is, because that's what you do.
Yeah.
And so she understood I had children, and they were non-negotiable, and I understood that her animals were non-negotiable. So, yeah, I got those horses as a result of making sure that they're in a good home, because I know if they ended up in a bad home, she'd, put some bad juju on me and like haunt me and put a curse on me from the grave. Like, for real, like she was a voodoo chick. No, not voodoo, but she was a Wiccan, whatever.
Yeah.
Very spiritual. So, it's
She's watching you.
Hell yeah. So that's why I got the horses. Because they're her kids, so they're my kids.
Yeah.
But as far as why people have them, I don't know, to be honest with you. Like, I never thought I'd be a horse person.
I mean,
do I look like a cowboy?
I would, honestly, I know you live in Leeds, so I was like, potential of them having animals, okay, but I never pegged you as, having horses or cattle or anything. Maybe like a goat or something at your place out there. Yeah. Never.
Actually, my brother's got the goats.
Okay, so that makes sense. So I wasn't totally far off.
No, not at all.
I guess. I mean, I just know that you can ride horses, but I just feel like there's something else that maybe isn't registering with me. Is it really just like the companionship, the challenge of caring for them?
It's two-part, it's the companionship, but for some folks who actually put the time into it, like a horse can do work, but a horse can also respond to you and the training that you put into them. So like anything that you care about and put work into, you can see the results. Like, I like farming. I'm DTF, man, down to farm. But, I like it because I can start with a seed. I can love it and squeeze it and give it sunshine and shit and grow something that I can use.
Yeah. Right.
With horses, you put the work in and they can do some cool shit. Like Franklin, my gelding, was actually he's a Lipizzaner, so he's one of them dancing horses. Like, he had a job.
One of those ones that kind of step to the side.
He's a big white one that gets all dressed up. He used to do all that stuff. So
how old is he?
He's late 20s now. So like, Shannon had him for
Shannon, that's her name.
I think
yes.
6 or 7 years before I got involved with her, and 7 years later. He actually did his dancing. Then he got studded out, turned into an asshole. I don't get it, man. Like, you're getting laid all the time. Why you got to be an asshole?
Isn't that sort of just the course of being a man? You start out dancing, you're kicking ass, you become a stud, you have kids, and then you just sort of become an asshole later on.
Yeah, I think that's a great progression for manhood. They're very Darwinist.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense for the the human world and the animal world, I guess, too.
Yeah, we regress a little, but
how long do horses live?
Well, in this case, generally his breed will be, as I understand it, into the late 20s, early 30s, maybe mid 30s. But then his companion, which is actually, she's a very large pony. Her name's Hallie. She's in her mid 30s, and ponies can live into their 40s. And when you're like a companion animal, like they're a duo, like Batman and Robin kind of thing.
Yeah.
And together they'll live longer than normal because they've got that connection.
If they didn't have it, there'd be loneliness.
So they realistically have 3 to 8 more years of healthy living, to my knowledge, as long as I keep doing my job, which is feed them, water them, clean them, etc.
Yeah. Now, if they were it's very important for them to stay together, right?
Yep.
How devastating would it be for them if they lost you?
That's a great question.
Well, I wonder if there's that same relationship that they have with you. I mean, you feed them, you brush them, you cut their hair, you bang horseshoes under their feet. No, they're actually
I
don't know if that's really something.
They're barefooters. No horseshoes for them. They're just they help mow the lawn lately.
Nice.
Crop rotation. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Curious. I mean, I know it's
never thought of that.
Well,
I'll be honest with you. Like, horses, they helped me deal with the loss of Shannon. Was regardless of what happened with her, that next morning I still had to take care of them. Like, they didn't know what the hell happened.
You know,
So they're still gonna eat. They're like children, like I said. Kids don't know what happens. They just got to eat.
so caring for the horses has been, like a coping mechanism for you.
It was for a short time,
Therapeutic.
It was for a short time, but now it's second nature. So, like, I know that I got to wake up, take care of them, go to work,
Right.
take care of my kids,
Right.
take care of them, go to bed.
Right. Now, I never met Shannon, but honestly, I feel like I feel like I knew her like I knew you. I kind of followed you guys on social media, and like I knew the whole story, and I think it was like a very intense love, and you guys had a short but like kind of passionate relationship, and it was a very beautiful thing from my perspective. And I'm just a friend of yours from your past, so you don't get to see too often, but it was a really beautiful thing. And here you are, in the midst of helping Shannon go through this, and cancer's sad and it can be scary, and here you are, a comedian.
Yeah, and comedy actually may have given me the distraction and the outlet to look for the excitement and the laughs, and not that they were short, because like I said, she was at the Naked Show holding my camera for me, so she was that supportive, and she might have put pasties on just to be part of the crowd. So it was a very real thing, and really, I had the kids' mom's marriage, so that was like a real marriage, but it was my practice marriage is the way I look at it. And then like Shannon came along, although it was short, but what it did is it made me realize, like, down the road, like, that's what love was. So like when you see other people's love, like, you can respect it and be like, bro, that's love.
Yes. This is exactly my, it's my view on that. You just saw that there was a lot of love there.
Yeah.
And it was easy to see. Like in the pictures and the videos I would see, and like, it was obvious. People can pick up on that. Definitely.
And it was electric. It was real. And so like now here I am, I'm like talking to the cat during the winter, and just me and the kids, and it's like people are like, well, he's still on her, and of course I'd still love her, and et cetera, but the reality is I'm still open to love. Everybody needs love, man. So I'm still open to having a best friend, which is really what that was all about. Is you realize what it is, so you can recognize it down the road.
Of course.
Not all love is infinitely like going to be forever.
Right.
I mean, it really is if you let it be. But the reality is you can love other people.
Of course. It's your duty to carry the fire, carry that memory, keep that love for that person, keep that memory of that person alive. I think it's really great you recognize that, and good on you, Ben, for going through that, being there for her, and being positive, being yourself, man. It would be really nice to have somebody like you around to go through, if I had to go through something like that. So I don't know Shannon, but I know you, and I know that it was very valuable to her for her to have you in her corner.
Yeah, she chose me.
Now, since we're kind of on the topic, there's a lot of talk these days, and there's a lot of, like, I would say, like, you see a lot of memes on the internet where it's like, Robin Williams was in a dark place. Nobody knew it, but look at like the comedy he gave to the world. Do you think that, would you say it's like negative emotions or sadness or things like that? Do you think they drive good comedy? Like, what is it there? You know what I'm getting at here. Like, what do you think is there?
I can talk about a lot of bullshit. Like, for example, I fell in love with the kid's mom. We got married, made 2 beautiful children. I had a brand new house, a brand new car, a good job, making good money.
Yep.
But, I got a divorce. Guess what? Car got repoed. Guess what? I got kicked out of my house. That didn't stop me from living, because living still happens. There's 24 hours in a day. Mm-hmm. It's your choice to do what you want with it. And either you can, say, hey, my life sucks, or you can just say, hey, life sucks, but I still got to do shit.
Yeah.
So that's when you just got to acknowledge it. It isn't life particularly picking on you, and it isn't like people intentionally want to be assholes to you. You don't know their story. Mm-hmm. So to be part of a negative reason for their story to be even worse. Why would you want to participate?
Right.
So people have referred to me as a person who really looks for those silver linings, and that's what I do. I dwell in silver linings because the reality is life does suck, yes. but there's so much more beauty in it too, and if you can appreciate it and realize it, you can definitely deal with it.
And I think there's a lot of people in our lives and in the world who have difficulty finding that silver lining. And for them to find people like yourself who can kind of bring that out or highlight the silver lining in some things, that's a huge service that you can do for other people around you. And
I'm not going to lie, I do have dark times, and, like this past winter was really a dark winter because when part of my recovery and part of my grief processing is I had to realize where like happiness is and what happiness is, and realize that there is other happiness. And I realized that prior to the whole caregiving experience, I was a bartender. I had a great time. I was having fun. I was bringing people together. I was, helping people enjoy their moments responsibly and just loving the moments. And so I'm like, that was an incredible time. So like I had my 9-to-5 job, but I really had the urge to get back to people. I mean, I already had the comedy and whatnot, but I really needed that structure of a good time. Yeah. So the Bucket in Buckfield, where I have been primarily working Sundays, was like my therapy. Like, I'm a single guy, and where do single people hang out? At a bar. Yeah. So I'm like, I can increase my odds for dating if I work at a bar, but I also have that internal rule that you don't mix business with pleasure. So like I won't hook up with anybody from the bar.
I was going to say that.
So
I feel like
bad
that
business.
I feel like that can be kind of tough because bars are where is the place for hooking up.
So, right. I mean, so I chose Sundays, which, by the way, the general population who go to a bar on a Sunday evening don't have the equipment that I prefer.
That's bingo night at the bar, isn't it?
Yeah, it's sports night. So it's pizza and beer and shots, and that's not a bad thing. Yeah. But it's mostly dudes, and funny thing is at first they didn't have the equipment I was looking for, but guess what? Neither did I. Like, let's be honest. You don't go to a bar for a dude. You go there because you got some eye candy. Hooters is real. The Tilted Kilt down in Portland, if they're still open, that's real. Like, people go there for a good time.
Right, of course.
And they're not coming to see a dude. Right. But we get along great. We have good times there.
Well, why don't you tell us a little bit more about what's going on at the Bucket these days? What are you doing at the Bucket?
Well, I'm still doing the bartending on Sundays and serving, but Lee, the owner, has given me clearance to book some events with all the networking I've done over the years. So, like, for example, Monday nights, we've been doing a cornhole tournament for Operation Reboot. And what they do is they raise money to take veterans out on hunting and fishing adventures and take them on outdoor adventures, giving back to the veterans, which is awesome. And then Tuesday night, they got cribbage. Friday or Saturday night, there may be some entertainment, whether it be comedy. I just had my first comedy night of the summer. I had Paul Hunt on there and Dennis Fogg. Dennis Fogg's been doing comedy for quite some time.
He owned a
Uncle Andy's down
in Portland. He was on Restaurant Impossible or something like that. Yeah, I went to school with his daughter, nursing school, and I follow him on the internet too. He seems like a pretty funny dude.
He's an awesome dude. Awesome. He isn't just a funny dude. He's an awesome dude. Very giving, very supportive. He's always there when you need somebody.
You mentioned supportive. You got to be there for your fellow brothers in comedy, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's comedy beefs. I mean, it isn't like Tupac and Biggie, but there's some comedy beefs out there, and I've been able to navigate in between all that because really I just love everybody, and they respect that, and
it's good.
And I'm like I said, it's about providing entertainment for the people, and I give opportunities with these shows that I book for comics to come do their craft.
Yeah.
And, it can be diverse crowds. I mean, sometimes it's younger folks, sometimes it's older folks, sometimes it's a little bit of everything.
Now, are you you're booking comedians? Are you booking musicians or anything like that?
Like for example, this Sunday we got Mike Krapavicki coming for our second acoustic Sunday. He's a local guy.
He's a big time player around these
He
parts.
is. And then June, so that's this Sunday, July 11th. I got Tom Gurney, also known as Bumma from the Dumb Bum Band. So him and I, funny
What's the
story.
song that they play? Titties on Trampolines, I think. That was his old band. Yeah. Okay, I'm familiar. Yes.
So I got Tom coming, and funny side fact, him and I share the same birthday of July 12th. So on the 11th, he'll be performing an acoustic 3-hour set, and we'll be celebrating birthdays. And then also speaking of birthdays, it's going to be a great birthday weekend. July 10th is going to be a roast the host event, and I'm the host, and I've got some of my favorite comic friends coming to roast me.
That is really
and
cool.
I'll roast them, and we're all just going to have a fun time shitting on each other.
Do you think you're going to be able to, keep your shit together? You're going to have your feet to the fire that night.
Yeah, I love it. I
These
love
guys
all
are going to
comics.
rip you apart.
Yeah, it's fun. I don't mind it. I look forward to it. Like it really challenges you to be able to craft jokes about your friends and understand it. It's just a freaking joke, man.
Right.
Like, I don't think you're a pedophile. You just look like one,
It's the mustache.
Right. You look like you're not allowed to be on kids' playgrounds, stuff like that. I mean, but that's just one example of things, and you can't
What
take
night
it to
is
that? That'll be July 10th.
All right. Cool.
July 10th.
Very close
and,
to your birthday.
Yep. And then like for example, I got a burlesque show coming July 16th.
That is cool.
Yeah. Outdoors. I mean, really, it's going to be a fun summer. And then of course they have bands like they've had Skosh play just recently.
Those guys just seem to get better and better too.
They kill.
Yeah.
Those guys are just awesome. And they're home in Buckfield, like that's their backyard.
right.
That's where they got their chops and stuff. And it's fun watching them grow and how good they all do.
So there's a lot of really cool, exciting things you're doing at the Bucket this summer. I mean,
Yeah, the bands were already booked,
laid
the
out
rest
a
of
couple
it, yeah.
weeks, and there's a lot of cool shit going on there.
Yep.
Where is it again?
It's right on 117 in Buckfield. It's I believe 371 Turner Road in Buckfield. 5 minutes off Route 4, really.
All right, that is awesome. I think, especially these days, people are kind of looking for more of an escape and a bit of like some entertainment, places to go. Not as many resources in that regard as there used to be because of COVID, right?
Right, and we got one of the best cooks around. Dottie, she slangs some dank food, like for real.
Right.
Her chicken fingers are fresh made chicken fingers.
That's what you would recommend if we were to go there.
Oh, the chicken tender basket with homemade fries is freaking killer.
Why did it make me think of that scene from Tommy Boy when they're in the restaurant and he's like, do I have a mark on my face? And there was that waitress who's like, Jesus, what happened to your face? I just imagine this woman, Dottie. I don't know her, but like a place like that. She's like, let me look in the back. I'll see if we got some wings.
That'd be Tabby.
Okay.
She'll tell you
Now I
where a
know.
bear shits in the woods.
All right. Awesome.
She's the manager of the bar. She's a great lady. She kicks ass.
That's cool. No drama at the Bucket or anything.
No, we don't like drama.
That's
Keep
cool.
the drama outside. We got a big backyard. Like I said, we were playing cornhole all summer long. Just really, it's all about having a good time. And there aren't many places, like you said. I mean, you've got room for up to 70 people inside. And then the outside, we got at least 12 picnic tables.
Yeah.
Plus room for cornhole, plus a big stage.
Right.
We got all kinds of stuff going on.
During COVID, was there a period of time where the shows weren't happening?
Yeah, like everywhere, like the governor's rules and safety of people had to come into play, and there was a short time. And,
Be like, you can't go see that comedian because he's talking real loud, and little bits of COVID could be flying out of his mouth.
yeah. Little bits of COVID.
Isn't COVID wasn't it just the craziest shit?
Yeah.
I mean, it really was. And here we are now. I'm going to knock on wood. It feels like we are finally just now getting to that point where maybe we can get like a little bit back to how it used to be.
Yeah.
I feel like what you're doing there at the Bucket is kind of a good thing socially. Like you're kind of you're out there making it happen in times where it's really not happening that much.
And that's it. And if you're not jumping on it right now, you're not going to get into it. And
Yeah.
and the reality is people want to get out, people want to do things. You got to offer it, and you got to do it in a safe environment and have a good time. And that's what you got to really realize is people are out for a good time.
Yeah.
They work hard. What do they want to do? They want to go to a place, have someone make them food,
Right.
serve
Loosen
them
up.
some cold beverages, and be cool about it.
Yeah.
Don't be an asshole, pretty much.
Right.
And that's what we're all out for now.
Now you're the bouncer too.
No. That's still Tabby. Nobody fucks with Tabby.
Apparently, I'm gonna remember that. Don't mess with Tabby when I go to the bucket.
Yeah.
That's cool. Where you come from, it's the type of place where everybody knows each other, right? So there's probably a lot of people who know you who are like, "Yep, Tabby."
Yeah, no, there are a lot of folks that are locals, and I love them all. They have their special drinks. Most of them are simple beers, but I know that as soon as one's empty, there should be another one in front of them, and served with a smile. And if I got to show a little leg, I will. But
Yep.
be friendly with their wives.
You got to make those tips. That's good.
Yeah.
Good customer service.
Yeah.
I for one appreciate that when I go to places.
Yeah,
I appreciate somebody who, chats me up a little, makes sure I have what I need. I mean, it goes a long way. It
yeah.
does.
I'm sorry. I showed you my hairy man tits the other day.
It's all right. I'll still tip you.
Thank you.
So you're doing awesome stuff, man, and you're out there. You're trying to make people laugh. You're trying to bring the comedy to the bucket. I think here at the Dirty Lou podcast, we appreciate people who go out and have the guts to do their passions in their life, and to do it through adversity, with all the haters and all the doubters. We live in a world where there's no shortage of people who are haters, and they discourage people. The ones who go out and go on a limb, they get discouraged. So my hat's off to you, because I know you've been grinding it for a long time. You had the balls to get out there and do something you wanted to do. And here you are a decade later, you're just still doing it, you're still grinding, and you're still making it happen, man. And here at the Dirty Lou podcast, we really appreciate that. And I'm glad you came, and I'm glad you kind of, told me your story, man. It's awesome.
Got down into the dirt.
Yep. Well, and, the Dirty Lou, we do like to get dirty sometimes, and we got down to the deep down, what's the pay dirt, right?
Yeah, the pay dirt where the gold is.
Yes, that's awesome, man.
I've actually panned for gold. It's a lot of work for a little.
There's gold. There's gold in the hills of North Leeds.
Right? No, like it reminds me of boiling maple syrup. Like, I mean, I tap 50 taps a year and make a couple gallons of syrup, and yeah, no, I'm busy year round. I garden, make salsa when I can, and that's what I'm getting back into. Is like currently, I work at a credit union. Great place to work, wonderful place to work. It's supported my family for 8 years now, or 7+ years. Anyways, the credit union world is giving me a lot of opportunity and support, and it's been great. But it's time for me to take all the lessons in life is given me and all of the connections I've made, and just keep running with it, because you got to follow those dreams, because we all know those old sayings, like if you say you're going to do it, you're never going to do it until you do it.
Yeah.
Like, and I got an old joke similar to that thought process. I gave my son a haircut one day. He was very proud of it, went downstairs to show his sister, and next thing you know, I hear him punching her in the face, and her crying, and him saying, "Don't touch my new hair, you're going to break it." And I'm like, did this just happen? Like, did he just punch her for touching it? So I got to go downstairs and be a responsible adult in a situation that really is quite comical. And I say to him, "Dude, why'd you punch your sister?" And I don't yell. I don't flip out. I'm a pretty chill dude. And again, no answer. So I ask him again. I'm like, "Bro, why'd you punch your sister?"
Yeah.
And silence. Like, it's like you're negotiating with terrorism with children. Like, first one to speak loses, right? So finally, I get down to his level, and I'm like, "Dude, why'd you punch your sister?" And he said, I did what I did because I did it.
Hard to argue with that.
Right. I mean, he might as well said, yeah, well, man, I hit her. You want the next one? Like,
Yeah, what of it, man? Come on.
like, I got one for you too, dude.
Yeah, right.
More from where that came from.
Well,
And,
you have to be careful because your son's pretty tall.
yeah, 13 years old guy. 8 inches in the last 10 months.
Are you worried about the day where, your son overpowers you?
No, he's got knees.
Fair enough.
For now.
So you're strategizing. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. Wow, 13. That's wild. He is a string bean. Tall. Tall.
Yeah.
Your ex-wife was tall too.
Yeah. Yep. 5'8".
Yep. Do you incorporate a lot of dad humor into your comedy sets?
I like the dad humor. I got the dad bod.
Yep.
Might as well use it to my advantage.
Of course. It's
Yeah.
really effective these days.
It's relatable. I mean, we all have kids. We've all had situations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but like it's acceptable. Like women like the dad bod.
That's what they say, but here I am still single.
Yeah.
And I got all this dad bod sexiness, bro.
I think it's just I think it's BS. I think they like to laugh about it and say, "Oh yeah, dad bod," but I don't think there's anything there.
No. I mean, I think the vagina would be getting thrown at me because that's what I am is dad bod.
You almost have like quintessential dad bod. I mean, I've got pretty strong dad bod game myself, but
Your wife is beautiful, by the way, but you know that.
Thank you.
I mean,
I guess she appreciates. No, she doesn't appreciate the dad bod.
No.
No,
She likes you fit and firm.
She wants me to be fit and firm. Yeah, I'm trying
It's
to
for your
lose
health.
weight. Yeah. Oh, definitely. I want to be healthy. I still, don't want to be like, I don't want to be constantly counting calories and things like that. I'll always have a little bit of gut, a little bit.
I mean, I switched from beer to seltzer for that reason.
Embarrassingly, I'll admit that I've done the same thing.
Yeah, less calories.
Yep. Truly's, White Claws, Bon Vive is another good like seltzer water alcoholic drink.
I like the cacti seltzer.
Yeah.
It's got the agave.
Yeah.
It's like a tequila seltzer.
Right.
Has a little more kick to it, 7%.
It's so funny. I was at a party once and I'm like, well, we got seltzer water and we got a bottle of vodka. We can make like little seltzer drinks. And everybody just looked at me like I was this hardcore alcoholic that I wanted to make drinks with vodka. It's like those Truly things. It's just seltzer water and vodka. That's all
That's
it is,
it.
right? Yeah, come on.
Why not jazz it up?
Yeah, just call it what it is. It's seltzer water and vodka. Yeah, I mean, I love beer, but you can drink it sparingly.
I hear you.
Yeah. Ben, you've been really awesome during this podcast, and it's been excellent talking to you. Would you come back in the future?
Yeah, if you'll have me.
Yes. One thing I'm just going to mention now is in the future, we'll be doing more episodes of the Dirty Lou podcast. We'll be talking about some live episodes of the Dirty Lou podcast here at 22 Park Street in Lewiston at the studio. And, it'll be something we'll have bands on. We'll have comedians. We'll have entertainers of all sorts at the time. And we would love to have you back, man.
Nice. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem at all. And remember, I can edit stuff out, so I can edit this out right now easy. Anything else you wanna put out there?
Anything else out
Yeah.
there?
I'm gonna be doing like a revision of this, so things will get cut out that we don't want going on there. Is there anything else you wanna add before we?
Well, let's see. What kind of humor? What kind of humor can this audience handle? There's a parrot over there staring me down, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
he can get crazy on me. I had a parrot come into the credit union once. Actually, he was a macaw. I got a picture with a macaw, and coincidentally, that morning, unbeknownst to me, I wore a Hawaiian shirt to work that day. So so I got freaking, a parrot on my shoulder from this member, and it was cool. It was a great photo op. But yeah, the members at credit unions are pretty awesome people. There's occasional ones that drive you nuts, especially I worked at one credit union that had 33 employees, 30 of which were ladies. So when it was that time of the month and even I was feeling fat and ugly, I was bloated And
you guys all like lined up your cycles with each other.
yeah, we are all cycling, and I'm not talking on bicycle like, from what is it, the Beach to Beacon, or is it
Right.
that one that they do from like
Dempsey Challenge.
The Dempsey Challenge. Yeah, it wasn't that. I mean, I participated in the Dempsey Walk, the Survivor Walk. That was cool. But anyway, so working with 30 women, it sucked when the other members would remind me how much prettier they were than I was. It's like, bro,
I'm trying.
I might have done some manscaping, which, by the way, manscaping is great and all until you have to go get a quote for some removal, and they quote you by the square foot. It's like you're removing a rug, guy. You're not installing it.
Yeah.
They get you on both ends.
Ooh.
So anyways, you got those members that are just dicks. And maybe that's too much time in the number 2 bathroom reading like 50 Shades of Grey and Danielle Steele novels. Like, I mean, what else you gonna read in a place full of women is those books in the bathroom.
Right.
Like you go to a mechanic shop, you got the Snap-on calendars with the hot chicks.
Yeah. You get lucky, there's Playboys.
Right.
It happens.
With pictures.
Yes.
Not just those great great articles.
Yeah.
And so like maybe that's it. Maybe when I think of a membership, I think a dick ship, and really I want to be on a booby ship. You can motorboat that, you know what I'm saying? Like flotation devices.
Yeah.
And but no, my favorite members are the older ones. Just like my favorite customers are the older ones at the bucket. Like there was this older gentleman one day. He saw that I wasn't wearing a ring, and he said, "I'm going to pray for you that you get a wonderful, beautiful wife." And I said, "Thank you, sir. But what if I just want someone who puts out? like is that such a bad thing?" And then the next person in line, she was a little old lady, and I gave her some exemplary member service, with some withdrawals and deposits. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Thorough member service.
All right.
And
the works.
The works. That's what you can call it. And it was so good, in fact, that she looked at me with like the Betty White twinkle in her eye, like she's doing something mischievous. And she says, if I was younger and had more money.
So she thinks you're expensive.
Well, good news, Grandma. I was just in your account. I can see you're a snowbird, and I could use a vacation.
Yeah, right.
But I got a couple questions though. Are those hips insured?
Oh.
Do those teeth come out?
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, those are my favorite members is the older ones, and I'm gonna miss it. But I got the older women that come into the bucket, and it's great when they don't know what to drink, because old women don't go out to bars anymore, especially post-COVID. So when they're curious about what to drink, I go through the different questions with them, and I ask them if they're looking for something sour, sweet, something cold or tart, whatever. And what it generally gets down to is they do like something sweet. So and I'm like, there's a great beverage that has some vodka in it, some peach schnapps, orange juice, and cranberry. You can jazz it up with a little pineapple. It's called Sex on the Beach. And before you know it, I'm having sex on the beach with your grandma.
Nice.
Yeah,
nice
staying in my
smooth transition.
Staying in my swim trunks and everything.
Yeah. Blurring the lines. I don't know if we're talking about real sex on the beach or just drinking alcohol at this point. I had no idea.
With dirty old women. It's beautiful.
Your experience in the credit union world, I have a feeling, is going to serve you very well at the bucket going forward in the future.
Yeah. Yep.
That's awesome, man.
It's cash business.
Right, yeah. And you get tipped, depending on your performance.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about providing that exemplary service.
Nice.
With a smile, not losing your shit.
I'm going to make sure I tell my mom to never go to the bucket.
Right?
That's just, if I didn't know you, okay, but I know you, man.
That's all right. Your mom's Cindy, right?
Yes, she is.
She was there last week.
She better not have ordered the Sex on the Beach.
No.
I'm not even going to ask, dude.
No, she's a vodka tonic.
No, thanks. Good. Mom, we'll be talking later. Won't be a pleasant conversation.
She's still into the arts and crafts and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she has her own private business of making these bags. I think they're Nuki or they're Gucci knockoffs or Vera Wang knockoffs, but she makes a lot of bags. And my mom's one of those people that's just kind of always creating, always. Yeah.
If you got the energy and it makes you feel good, do it.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, she's a very special woman, and she's always making something. She made a lot of masks during COVID when there was that big crunch where nobody had them.
Right.
She cranked out a bunch of them and donated them, and she was a woman working in the ICU at CMMC with COVID patients, ready to retire. And then in her downtime, she was just cranking away and making masks and donating them. It was
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah, she's a really awesome woman.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I'll tell her you said hello. Ben, thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you so much, Duke. Thank you, Carrie.